Just clean up the office, so try not to put your shoes on my stuff. You can avoid that.
You can clean it up. I bought you these. I own these.
That'd be great.
I own these.
Yeah, let's just
I own you.
A little respect for other people's personal space.
So. Happy fucking New Year!
It was like stage fright. I was like, what are we doing again? For a second there, I thought we were doing an Instagram story.
Oh my god.
Welcome to Bona Fide Bullshit, the podcast. I am your host, Eli. And this is...
Angelica.
That is right. We are here. We are locked in. And we're coming to you on this lovely New Year's Eve. That's right. New Year's Eve.
Last day of 2022. God bless it.
We got to cheers to that right there. Come
cheers
here.
to that.
Hey, cheers to everybody out there. This is some Blanton's bourbon. So...
I'll be pretty tipsy after this because I don't drink.
This is some of that good shit.
This is straight.
That barrel stuff that's really rare, really fine. Yeah, so
burns the nose hairs.
You
told me though once before that you're supposed to.
Yes, bring in the notes. Shout out to Frankie Drinks.
And then
bring in the notes, and then kind of go ahead, sip, give yourself a little zip, and hold it for a little bit while you're in there. And shoot it back. See how smooth that is?
Yeah, I shot that back.
That's how you do it. You want to go ahead and kind of get your nose a little bit ready, and then let it sit on your tongue.
Feels warm. For
a little bit, and then it just comes down nice and smooth. And especially a bourbon like this, Bland's bourbon, for those who are bourbon drinkers out there, you guys know there's some good shit and there's some hard shit to get a hold of. And
you have it, my friend.
Yes. I also have a bottle of something else that I got recently that I haven't.
You have all the special things.
I'm very lucky to have all the special things, and very lucky to have what people call a plug. So
you have a really nice man cave here.
I mean,
how come I don't have a woman cave?
It's the rest of the house.
Ugh, yeah, right. That the kids share with it.
I tell you, start putting them in their pocket and leave them in a corner somewhere, and the rest is all yours.
I know. I need to build like a woman cave. Like you got all the good shit. You got alcohol, all like your cute shit that you buy, like your pops. You even got like all the snacks. You got like the snacks here. You got like all the good shit.
I could have to the 1950s and been like the kitchen.
It's like the last place I want to be these days.
Yeah, I mean, this is.
I have no desire.
I'm very appreciative of my space here. I'm always looking to do different and new things. Every time I sit down, I'm like, man, I'm not fully satisfied with this area just yet, but I'm very grateful for this area, and I'm very grateful to have this space to house all my stuff. You know what I mean? Because I'm a big collector of all kinds of figures and memorabilia and things like that.
All those collector's items,
I'll tell you, as we do this episode, we're going to throw out resolutions, and one of my resolutions for next year is to get more collectibles.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
do you have any other New Year's resolutions?
No, I told people, as we keep doing the episode, we'll just shoot one-offs,
Okay, all right.
So
that's fine.
We're on the subject of collectibles and items and stuff that I have, so, number 2, I want to be able to get a hold of more rare bourbons, such as this. See what I mean? Kind of catch my flow, catch my drift?
No, those are New Year's resolutions. Those are like, I don't know if those are resolutions. I don't feel like that classifies as resolution.
Tomato, potato.
Those are like goals. You're like, oh, I have a goal of getting more of these
special
alcohols or whatever. That's not a resolution.
I want to resolute.
I feel like that's not the definition
to accrue it.
Of resolutions.
We should do more of.
No, it's things that you feel like might better yourself or your life.
Yeah, collectibles better my life. Bourbon better my life.
All I have to say is you better hope that you don't die before me because I'm going to sell all these motherfuckers.
Well, that's nice way for you to think of things. Jesus Christ.
And I will make so much money because every time you buy something, you say, this is already worth, and then I know how much it's worth.
And that's the whole thing. I think we've had this subject before, people... we might have had it on the podcast. I can't remember. I think some of the folks that know us, that are close to us, know that she always blow me shit and say like he's got all this collectible shit, but he won't sell it. But I like to collect.
Some of it I understand. The other stuff like Pokemon cards, like it's not like they're up on display or.
No, I have a lot of the original set, not like so.
Right.
To walk that one back, it's not like I'm buying them now, which is not a thing for anybody that does. But
you were a big avid player of the Pokemon. Was it Pokemon Go? Is that what it was called?
Oh, and it came on the app? Nostalgic-wise, yeah.
Yeah, there was one point where, like, we were outside barbecuing, and I was like, where'd everyone go? And everyone was walking around fucking catching Pokemon. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? I'm here barbecuing away,
Pokemon
and he was like literally across the street at my son's school catching Pokemons. So
not just me, it was a bunch of other people that were roaming around there.
It wasn't a bunch of other people. It was like his brother and
cousins and some friends. Yeah, it's a nostalgic thing. You know what I mean? When Pokemon Go kind of did their thing, like I was a fan of the original first wave of Pokemon, and then it kind of went away. So then that was like a nostalgic thing because then you were able to play it in the game and kind of do the whole VR, catch your stuff on the phone and get points and send eggs and all that bullshit. But I know people that play that shit to where they'll plan their route on what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think people like legit like travel places and make it like a thing, which I guess in that aspect it can be cool. Maybe you could see different places, like they placed the whatever Pokemon characters in different places that you would never usually see. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And it's like rare gatherings or figure out raids, and they'll be like, "Well, we gotta go this way because we gotta do a raid."
Yeah, remember, like there'd be a certain times of the night we'd just be driving, and then we see like groups of people, and they'd be like, you could tell they're on the phones because it's like the light is shining in the dark and they're catching shit.
Yep, that's what they were doing. Well, fucking Pokemon raids.
That was during the height of the pandemic, wasn't it?
Before.
Or during it?
No, it was before. It was before, and then
I feel like, but they continued
then
during it.
When people were walking, they started still gaining steam.
Because that's all people were doing. You were like taking walks. No, but
that shit popped off before shit popped off.
Yeah, I guess it is when we had the barbecue, and that was definitely pre-pandemic.
Yeah, that was pre-pandemic, and then
it is really funny how that's how we like reference things.
Now. Oh yeah, now it's like when you go back and you have conversations with people, and you're like. Instead of saying 2-3 years ago, you're like, before the pandemic, you know what I mean? Like,
you just don't know. Like, I can't remember when we went into the pandemic, so, like, I try to reference via, like, what grade the kids were in, but even that, at this point, is kind of hard to remember for me.
Yeah, for those of you who are out there still kind of, whether you're recovering from the pandemic, you think the pandemic's over, you still might think the pandemic's going on. I remember...
I just want to say that's not going on anymore.
Like I just want to say, in case you were wondering, excuse me. I'm able to pinpoint shit, and I think out of all the years, like we could go back and be like, oh wait, what year was that? What year is that? But when it comes to shit that happened within those 2 to 3 year span, I could tail down more because that just stood out so fucking much. It was just like
it did, but at the same time, it was like all a blur because like. The kids were learning at home. I didn't know what the fuck was going on half the time. I honestly don't even know how we survived because we're like a few days, a week, whatever, into like winter break. And like, I feel like annoying levels are very high this year. I do not know how we did it for that span of time when it's been a week. And I'm like, just fucking find something to do.
I like the meme that says to the school, hey,
come get your kids.
Come get your kids.
Yeah, come get your fucking kids.
Come get your kids.
Because we don't know what to do. I personally don't know what to do with them. So.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy times. You know what I mean? You kind of get used to it, kind of don't. You look back at it and you're like, man, because that time you.
How do we do it? Or even like us being home all the time together. You ended up leaving here and there because, offices were closed and I think you were, going here and there or whatever. But like, I know marriages definitely did not make it through the pandemic. I know that for sure.
Yeah, because you hear
relationships, whatever, did not make it because that really started to show people's true colors and views on things, and I think shit just really fucking escalated.
I remember seeing a video once where it was one of those like inspirational quote type videos, whatever you scroll, and the guy
that comes up on your page because on your like algorithm, it's like hood rat shit. Like if you like, we'll compare. Like we'll post like your algorithm and mine. Mine's all like very inspirational things, fitness, and this is the most ignorant shit you ever said. Like I don't even know where it's coming from. Today, you were laughing like I've never heard before. You're like, it hurts! And I was like, what the fuck is going on? It was like a kid falling off a fucking horse.
He didn't fall off the horse.
I mean, there's a whole story to it, but like, basically that's what happened.
My shit's a Mod Podge are like accident, fails, booty shaking, cigars, entertainment.
Mine's like fitness, dogs, and inspiration.
My algorithm's lit!
That's it. Seriously. That's the fucking difference.
What I was gonna say was, well, one of those videos came up and the guy was talking about marriage and was like, and it's something that stood out to me, and it's one of those I wish I would have fucking saved or shared so that I could see it, because then you can't go back and find it. But it was along the lines of like, anybody could get married, but it takes person who you're with, like beyond the marriage, beyond the family, it's finding that person you could live with. So it's more than love, deeper than kids, deeper, just finding that like glorified roommate is what they were kind of calling it. Like just someone that you could live with, be in the same atmosphere, like just, and that's what it boils down to. And I think people during the pandemic and shit like that kind of found out, push come to shove, they're like, well, I really love you, but I can't live with you. You're a fucking pig.
It's like what they say, like, is love enough? Absolutely not.
No.
It's just not. You could love so many people. I'm sure I could love other people out there. Do I choose not to? Of course. I don't fucking want to, because you find the person that, like you said, you could live with and work with. Because
or they call it your puzzle piece, finding your piece to your puzzle. You know.
Tell me. Yeah. I complete you.
Yeah, very colorful puzzle. Yeah. That's what it's about.
But it's true. It's a lot of fucking work, and I'm sure we've talked about this before. And you have to put in the work. It's not 50-50. It's 100-100, and that's why I feel like things have worked so well with us throughout the years, and it's been really fucking hard. Yeah. It has not been an easy road. It isn't just fucking sunshines and rainbows shooting out of our fucking ass all the time.
Nope.
It has been so fucking hard, and especially this past year has been really hard. So on this last day of the year, I'm filled with many, many emotions. Ending this year for sure. So
definitely, I think that's one question that we've been asked a lot, where it's like, well, you know, how do you do it? Everything looks perfect, everything's fine, and we've always stressed that's never the case. Like, but it's a matter of how you get through things. If you could get through the smallest to the largest.
Also, you're not supposed to post all your hard times on social media. No. Yeah, you see all our happy pictures. Of course, we want to show you that, but I'm not going to post and be like, Eli was a fucking asshole today, and I can't stand the sight of his fucking face. You know, like, I could, and people might know that, but, you know, you don't. Like, you're not 18, and even when you are 18, you shouldn't do that shit. You know, social media, there's a fine line on social media. They should know parts of your lives and just, like, not all of it.
Yeah, I've always said that. I always said, like, there's a certain point that I'll share, there's a certain point that I don't. Now, is it me sharing all the good shit? Not necessarily. It's
a lot of it.
Most of it is just because...
And if you ask us or me and say, like, hey, how's it going? I will be very open with you and be like, yeah, it's not all sunshines and rainbows, because a lot of people will say that, I would never know, you don't look like whatever, and it's like, of course, I'm not going to post myself crying.
No, but there's been times I've shared a story, I'm like, man, it's one of those fucking days today, or blah, 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 my whole cigar media type of shit's a different, because there's other pages and stuff that you can share with guys, and I'll light up a cigar and just say, you know, fucking needing this one today after blah, 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 blah. So yeah, there's some sharing there, but not, like I said, not where it's too personal, because to me, I leave that shit for in-home and family and close friends is where you can share that personal shit, because obviously there's bazillion people all over the place and I don't even know my shit, you know what I mean? And that's what it boils down to. Sometimes it's sad when you do see those people that get trapped in that position where they're just like sharing every fucking detail. Like at the hospital, da 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 da. My mom just da 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 da. My uncles just died, da 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 da. I just happen to have a good time. I'm partying with the girls, da 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 da. I'm at the concert, look at the whole concert, da 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 da. Like there's just certain shit that it's cool to share and certain shit that's not. And even like I just mentioned concert the other day, you know what I mean, we went to see Daddy Yankee, which is he was on his last tour. I had maybe 2 or 3.
Let me just say that concert on a Monday almost put me out, though.
Yeah, that's for sure. Cover to like Thursday.
I was literally not.
But that whole thing, when I realized when I was there watching the concert, I'm like, it's his last tour. I want to enjoy it. I took, I think, 2 videos and a picture, and I had other stuff that I recorded, but I didn't post. But most of it, my phone was in my pocket, and I was enjoying dancing with her and just enjoying the atmosphere and the music. And there's literally people that were around me that were watching the concert through their phone, and it's like. why'd you just pay a few $100s to go somewhere to stand in and then watch it on your phone when you're there?
You really do like miss it, but like I get it. It's like back in the day, you know, you used to have like the lighters and you go like this, and now they're just like everyone turn your flashlight on your phone.
Oh, yeah.
And it's wild because it's just so different.
Back in the day when I went to Bon Jovi's concert.
It's so different, the shit that you see out there now.
Bon Jovi, dead, 62. I'm just fucking with you.
Chucky freaked out.
That has been my latest and favorite trend right now.
Like, me too.
Is setting people off with the fake celebrity deaths to see how many people really give a fuck about somebody
and it's all,
that they don't know.
It's all like parents, like I would say, like my age and maybe older, that their kids are like tricking them. They're like, no.
It's like,
and it's so funny.
God, like I get it if you know it's the celebrity, but if you don't, like that's a lot of emotion for someone that don't even know who the fuck you are.
It's like fantastic.
It's fucking no, I'm saying it's hilarious.
It's the best thing I've seen on the internet as of lately. Yeah, it's for sure.
Fucking hilarious. But yeah, so.
As well as that one song that's going around the reels. Thank you for sunshine. Thank you for rain.
It's the voice and it's the lyrics of that song.
Yeah, and it's just
the
like
simplicity of
it's just like the heart behind it. You know, like it's so simple, and we live every day here just like worrying about like just so dumb stuff. You know, and I had to like catch myself and check myself.
What's the one part where he says, "But I don't want a something because I could have."
Oh, it says, I don't want to act all high and mighty because I could like fall on my face the next
That
day.
line right there. Fucking golden.
Yeah, it really
fucking
is.
mint.
And everyone's putting different like reels to them, whether it's like, you know, views they've seen or personal things, and it just really hits the heart, man. Like those fucking reels, they fucking get me. You wouldn't understand because your reels are trash. But like most days I'm watching reels and I'm like,
that's how you really feel?
Yeah, that's legit how I feel.
My views say less.
Well, it doesn't matter. And it's probably trash people too. So, but anyways, no offense.
Damn.
But you know, I watch my reels every day. And
another resolution, I plan to take less shit from her like that.
Oh yeah? Good luck. Good luck because I'm not changing.
Like, finally, resolution check-in, I'm not changing.
No, I'm not changing. Not that part of me anyways. But yeah, that it hits you in your feels. And I find myself, you know, I watch, and that's the other thing. You know, what you put in your brain every day makes like a fucking huge difference. So all jokes aside, if you're like, you know, extra time that we spend on reels, obviously like when you're fucking taking a shit, when you're just like sitting here browsing because you have like a few minutes, like the things that you put in your brain, like in that free time, are important too. Like, yeah, you want to have laughs and stuff like that. Some show up on mine, obviously it's too, but like a lot of times I will flip through my reels on days that like I don't feel it. Like whether I don't feel like going to the gym, whether I'm having a hard day, like as a mom, like I'll flip through it and something will always come up and it will kind of put me in check because it will say this, you know, it will pull on your heartstrings and kind of, you know, send you back to reality when you're just not having such a good day. It's important, the things that you feed yourself, you know, in numerous ways, whether that's social media, food, you know, everything. So, you know, you should just sprinkle a little bit of that into your algorithm.
I do. My algorithm does that. I just talked about an inspirational quote.
You want to open your phone right now, see?
I would love to.
Go ahead.
But unfortunately I can't sit in the tripod.
That's right, that's right.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, right? Too bad.
But it does. I mean, there's certain stuff you can see on there. There's certain does when you're in a certain space, certain mind that you just kind of want to watch and laugh and whatever, or you want something deep, you know what I mean? There's times you sit back and kick it and you want to, like I said again, you want to think or you want to go ahead and just kind of be...
Yeah. Social media could be really good and bad. So I think you just have to be really intentional with your time on social media, I guess. You know, whether you're posting because you're sharing stuff or, you know, I just want a few minutes of laughs or, you know what, I need to see some shit or hear some inspirational shit. I know I could like always find it, which, you know, I guess sometimes seems like stupid, but like there's so many other people that feel whatever you're feeling, whatever it's about.
Yeah.
And it's just so easy to find on social media. So
Yeah, because it puts you in
tune. It could be a really good tool.
So many people. Yeah, what I'm saying. It's one of those things where you always talk about, and I know they continue to do things where they do studies and stuff to see how it affects, and we won't really know the effects for like another 10 or 15 years or some shit. Because there's just so many sides to it. There's certain sides that I miss that social media takes, not currently, but like we're talking about this. I had this conversation with a buddy of mine where we're talking about nightclubs and how crowds and stuff's different. And obviously, for those of you who know I DJ, and the nightclub scene is so different because back then you get with your guys and you say, hey, bro, we're gonna get together, we're gonna talk to some girls, da 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 da. The girls, hey, we're gonna dress all up, we're gonna get in our heels, we're gonna go to a club, get some free drinks, try to holler at some guys, whatever the case is. And now in today's landscape, it's like,
give me your Snapchat.
They just...
give me your Instagram.
Not even. I'm just saying right off the bat, they're already on their phone shopping. Can talk. Oh, look, let me slide in her DM. Oh, look, let me send her a direct message. Oh, look, let me go ahead and add...
instead of speaking face-to-face?
Face-to-face, and then they're just meeting them on there, and they're already pre-shopping. Or you got those apps that go deeper where you literally go swiping for a connection for someone you're just like, hey, I'm trying to fuck, you're trying to fuck.
We just missed that era.
That literally clipped us at the end, yeah.
We missed it.
And then when you do go to a club or a bar and you see somebody, it ain't, hey, let me get your number. It's like, hey, let me get your snap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's like...
even when I was at the gym the other day and I'm talking to these two girls, they were probably they were young and probably in their 20s, college. And they're like, just like in mid-conversation, like, oh my God, here, I'm going to give you my Instagram, they were so cute, but it was like immediate. It wasn't just like continued conversation about fitness or this or that, which they were very much obviously into too, but it was like, here, give me your page, so.
Back in the day, I remember when social media, MySpace, it was like, hey, you have MySpace? Or hey, find me on MySpace. It was fine. Yeah. People always say, find me on MySpace.
Yeah.
And now it's like scan the phone, get the barcode.
Yeah, the QR code.
Yeah, the whole shit. Yeah. Let me get your, username and we'll call it a day. And
oh my God, I don't follow you. Oh, you don't see me or whatever. It really is crazy. It's been I feel like the downfall of things, but also has opened a lot of opportunities for a lot of people at the same time.
Totally random, just in case people are watching. For some reason, my nose is so fucking itchy right now. It feels like, when you're doing something and you can't touch your face.
No.
I keep finding myself itching, and I'm just like, man, it's annoying the shit out of me because whoever's probably watching out there for our
you're gonna blame it on
viewers
our dogs.
and I'm just like, man, my fucking nose.
You always blame it on our dogs.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's not. I'm holding the dog, not you.
It's the hairs or something. I don't know.
Nah.
Thank you for sunshine. Thank you for rain. My nose is real itchy. I'm like, what the fuck?
Get it together, okay?
I'm trying to reel it in before, I'll get it together next year. Hey.
I had to hold myself back from saying that to anyone at the gym, like, hey, see you next year.
Oh, I got a bunch of them yesterday. They were like, all right, see you next year.
I just kept telling myself, don't do it. Don't do it, Angel. Don't do it.
Yeah, it's just, to me, this shit's fucking corny as fuck.
So the last time we were talking about the podcast, it was totally random, but I was like, we should do something where we say, like, ask a question to each other of something that, like, we think, you should know and vice versa, and, quiz each other and kind of see that. So I thought of a question, or maybe a series of questions. Because, okay, so you're a smart dude. Like, you're a very smart dude. He's very smart. And I think I've said this before on the podcast here. I feel like you are smarter than you look.
Yeah, you did.
And though I don't necessarily feel like that about myself anymore. I feel like when I was in corporate, I could act very smart. I could put on whatever the show that was needed for corporate. And I am very book smart, I would like to think. Maybe not. I don't know anymore. I used to think I was book smart, not so street smart, but now I think kind of like vice versa. I don't know. Anyways, but you are so smart. Like, there's some days where you're talking about, it could be the most random thing, and I'm like, how the fuck do you know that? Like, you're just so smart, and you know so many things, and I truly don't know how. But there are some areas that, like, you lack in, So Here is my series of questions for you. And maybe this could be a resolution for next year to, better yourself in. Okay, here's my question. You have to tell me how to spell which there I'm using.
Ah, great.
Okay. We are going to their house for New Year's Eve.
THEIR.
Nice! Good for you! Their house is in Elgin.
THERE.
Nope.
Oh, I thought you were going to. Is this still THEIR?
Nope.
You said their house.
I did.
THERE?
No. No, baby.
DER?
What?
Their house? Everybody's got that one friend on Facebook that spells everything with DER, DER.
Yep. No.
THEIR.
No, babe.
It's THEIR and THERE.
Their house is over there. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was something else.
So I'm like looking at you and you're laughing at me like, there we go.
I'm sorry, that's my fault.
Yeah.
Okay, let me try it again. Okay, because I want to use a different there. Okay.
You mean like they are? Sorry, what you're trying to aim for.
Yes, that's what I was gonna ask.
So I got it.
Okay, so you're doing better.
Yeah.
Because before you weren't able to. Okay, so let's try another one. How about
I'll tell you right now, because I admit with the one that sometimes fucks me up sometimes is we where. Like we are where we.
Like let's just say we're going to Florida.
I'm gonna go WHERE. No, because that's where the location, right? So it'd be WERE.
Yeah, that's where the location.
Yeah, so WERE.
You just said that.
No, I said WHERE.
Oh, what did you just say now? Sorry.
WERE. We're going.
Close.
Because we are going to Florida.
Close.
So.
Okay, you want me to tell you? It's WE'RE.
Oh, because I didn't say apostrophe, right? That's what I meant.
No, babe. You didn't even know that one existed.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, then how about Martin's clothes were dirty.
That's WERE.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the apostrophe makes a big difference because then it's like a conjunction or whatever.
Conjunction, junction, what's your function?
Function, yeah. Okay.
I'm just a bill sitting on Capitol Hill.
Do you have any questions for me? Because I know you think I'm not that smart sometimes.
Who's in the $10 bill?
Ugh, damn it.
Which president, you say? Which president is on the $10 bill?
Right, obviously. I'm just going to guess.
Give me a good one, too.
Okay.
And I'll tell you one thing, it ain't George Bush.
I know it's not Benjamin. Because it's all about the Benjis, baby, right? It's not that. Okay. So, Washington.
Nope. Hamilton.
Oh, you should have let me guess again.
You weren't.
I would have just going to guess.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, you didn't let me get all out.
Okay.
Which one is Washington on?
One.
Yeah.
It's only because there's only so many choices. So, I could guess kind of easily. So.
$5?
Okay, hold on. Don't tell me. Just wait 1 second. Jefferson.
Nope. Lincoln.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought of this. I mean, kind of, but not really. But I thought of this because we were watching the Chelsea Handler stand-up or whatever on Netflix. And she was talking about how her sister thought she was really stupid because she just realized as of recently, I don't know if it's true or not, that the sun and the moon are not the same thing.
He thought the moon went down.
And he looked at me, he's like, "That's some shit you would do."
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what?
What other currency is?
You're right.
Here we go. What other currency is Lincoln on?
Penny.
Yeah.
I feel like that's obvious.
Yeah.
Honest Abe.
Oh yeah. You don't even know what it is. It's like, Honest Abe. You know that guy.
That's my go-to.
Give him the hat.
My go-to.
Springfield, Illinois.
My go-to is Honest Abe and the Watergate.
Yeah, loves the Watergate. Anything that's a presidential scandal. She's like, yeah, like the Watergate. I was like, okay, yeah. Who is on the 20
Oh my god. That would be,
What do you say with your chest and confidence?
I know. See, this is how I know how to like pretend to be smart, is because I could behave confident and it's just not even true. Like, not even a little bit. But I'm gonna guess
Barack Obama.
Biden. It's Biden. I don't even know what the name was.
Jefferson.
I said Jefferson earlier, so I don't.
That's why I thought you
again.
would get it. That's why I thought you would get it anyway. See?
Oh, fuck, man.
It's a simple shit like that. And that's how this goes back to balancing each other. There might be some shit where I fucking, where, there, they make sure to help me with. But then when it comes to the money, I'm like, here we go.
Yeah, I feel like there's just a difference between like being dumb and stupid. And I feel like I'm just like dumb sometimes.
I don't like even refer to. I just
like I don't like that word. Obviously,
I wouldn't say like.
I feel like there's a difference, but like the knowledge.
There's certain knowledge that you may be naive to.
Yeah, the knowledge that I lack, I feel like it could be. Anyways, it could be a lot of knowledge that a lot of other people lack as well.
It's for me. There's shit that like in school, like English, I always did good in, but then now like there's just certain stuff
English you did well in.
Yeah, and there's just certain stuff that.
That's how I know you didn't do that good in English.
No, I remember like that was that in history one of my favorites, and that was good. But there's certain stuff that I would regurgitate that you treat like it's weird how at least my mind. I don't know how other people.
I think everyone's mind is like that.
Yeah, I would chose to keep save it, and there's shit.
I think that's
at the moment I was learning it, and I had it, and then once sometimes I think about this. Sometimes what gets me is sometimes when you talk about pronouns, nouns, adjectives, and all that. Like I remember killing it, and then when you get older, like you just don't. No. You hear somebody like, "Oh, what's your pronoun? What's your adjective? What's the this?"
Yeah, you have to Google it.
You have to be like,
sometimes Eli will be like, "Is this a noun, Mom?" And I'm like, "No, just look this up real quick."
And then I feel like now,
can't remember.
I feel now.
But at the time, it was easy.
Yeah, at the time I was like flying through it, and then I feel like now. Where my state of mind is
if you keep doing that to your notes, people are going to think you do coke.
For instance, I was giving you a warning. I'm like, man, the fucking shit's itching. I'm like, give me my other bump. Give me my Christmas bump.
You're like this or whatever the people do.
Like fucking up in smoke. But I choose to go ahead, and there's information now where my mind, what my mind currently is open into, of uploading information is like historical shit or just facts and stories and like these documentaries I watch and the facts about things that are happening or why things do certain things.
You're saying that's what you tend to retain easily now?
Now, yeah. So I'll sit and I'll watch. I have a cigar and I'll watch a great documentary like I recently watched on Sam Cooke. Or another one on Malcolm X, and then I'll watch other stuff on the prison system, then I'll watch stuff on Egypt, and it's shit that I can put and have conversations and be like, hey, did you know, da-da-da-da-da-da, like, that's where my mind chooses to, like, lock in and save.
Because when you're doing your downtime, that's, like, what relaxes you.
Yeah, but I'm also have a hunger for just
the
knowledge of it. Like, even, like, when we travel, this year, fucking the Freebie Flower Mile is a crazy place going to.
I have to say, I don't have hunger for knowledge.
See, I do like the knowledge of the history. So like when we were in Seattle, it was cool for me driving on the expressway and seeing one of the first places that the grunge music started, and to see it. So to physically put that monument there and put it in my mind, like, man, that was the place. That's the fucking Space Needle. That was this.
Okay, so I feel like all that stuff is really cool, and I enjoy it just as much as you do. But I think I enjoy envisioning or imagining the feeling that was there during that time. Like when we went to Ellis Island, like it was very interesting seeing everything, and all the information was overwhelming. You can read all these things and this and that, but like for me, it was like just being there and sitting there and being like, just thinking about how any one person, any parent, any whomever felt
when they were coming.
I think that's what I crave. That's what I crave when I travel and I see different places. I crave the culture and knowing the people and seeing that. Like that's what I look for. And
that's what I'm saying. Like now, when I go places, that's what I look for too, and I absorb. And then I want to know more about it, and I want to dive in deeper. Because then I'm like, oh shit! I start looking up stuff, and I go down a spiral hole, or however you say it. go down in a spiral, looking like, you know, down the rabbit hole of looking for shit and
and I don't. I stop. For me, it's overwhelming. It's too much for me for my type of personality. I think to like retain. I want to see the place, the people, and you know, I want to keep it like in my heart, and leave it at that. Wherever we have visited, whatever we have learned, you know.
But that's why I like my mind. So yeah, when we go back to the simple stuff that we learn in education, it's like a lot of the shit that's like, whether again to revisit my question, just like you learn the presidents, you learn money, but you just chose to be like, okay, once you were done with that subject, you didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, probably because I realize, and probably this is what our son probably feels like too. Like you're just like, not that it's stupid, but you're just like, I'm not going to use this later. So like in my brain, I'm like, cool, an extra thing I have to like remember and know why. Like let me just fucking out the other ear.
Like it drives me nuts knowing sometimes, like especially with our oldest, and not realizing the value of $1, and he's a fucking sophomore in high school. Or our youngest who was learning currency and not fully grasping it because before their age, and again, I look at it from a standpoint of like we talked about this before, where it's like depending on how you're growing up, and I remember not having money, my parents, and it was tough, so you just paid more attention to it because it's something you didn't have. Versus, not that I'm saying we have it now, but the kids don't have to worry about like, oh my god, this or that. So they're not thinking like, why is this thing money so important? Why do I have to learn about this money?
I do agree with that to some extent. I mean, I agree with it, you know, because obviously we do try to teach our kids the value of $1. Like it's important. They should know this shit. At the same time, I don't think that schools do their job in teaching the importance of these things, as well as depending on the kid's personality is how they're gonna depends on how they're gonna receive the information, right? Like we've talked here in this podcast before, like I know that I grew up very privileged. I was very lucky, and I always knew that. And I never acted. At least I feel like I don't feel like I acted like overly spoiled or like entitled or any of that. Like I knew, like in my heart, I just knew I was lucky, and I always felt very grateful for it. But that was just me, and I don't know, my personality, my heart. Maybe not every kid just like is born to that. Just like never every kid is born in your situation.
But in your situation, and I've said this before, I felt like it wasn't that you were born with like a silver spoon in your mouth. Like, your parents came from a third world country, came fucking struggling, worked their fucking ass off for fucking many years.
Yes.
But at all costs, it was...
But I didn't see any of that.
Yeah, it was love first, financial second.
Right.
You know what I mean? And where my household, it was always a struggle first, you know, work second,
there was a lot of people in your upbringing situation that could have gone the other way, down the wrong route, right? But because you have the personality that you do, you didn't. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a combination in school and life and everything. It's whatever personality and the way your brain works, whatever it's left-sided, right-sided, whatever fuck it, all that is that, as well as the situation that you're in, whether it's school, whether it's your family, like it's that combination. And one could be off or the other, and you're fucked. Or one could be off and you're totally fine.
To me, it's you have to have the hunger, because you do have people that come up with a similar upbringing that I have that didn't have the hunger, and they're still hungry. You know what I mean? They're not hungry. They're just settling for what they had. And I'm always fucking hungry. No matter what situation I'm in, whether it's hungry for knowledge, hungry for experiences, hungry to learn new things, hungry to, you know, take things to a different level, hungry to, again, just to be I always have a fucking appetite. And I feel like there's people that might have been the similar upbringing that I had that just settled for the meal that was in front of them, and they're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna fucking eat a ham sandwich every day, then ham sandwich it is. Where I was eating my fucking ham sandwich and I'm like, I want a peanut butter and jelly.
Either you either have to have that drive and hunger, or you have to surround yourself with the correct people, and both sometimes, to show you the right way. You know? It's always like that one clip I always see of Jeannie Mai, and she's talking about like when you grow plants or flowers, like I know you hate all my flowers, but all my plants in the kitchen. But when the flower is not doing well, the plant is not doing well, it means it doesn't like that environment. So you move it. You move it to a different place where the sun shines more, where the sun shines less maybe if it doesn't need that much. You don't blame the plant. You're like, oh, I'm in the wrong environment. Let me take myself out of it. And that's what you've done. Whether your parents started that for you, took you out of the city and moved more towards the suburbs, where the next step was even moving further, you know, and being with me and being surrounded by different things, people, family, etc. Like, it's all that. It's all the things that you surround yourself, and it is the highest importance to you thriving in your life. It really is.
It is, and that's what I try to tell people, and I try to educate friends and family members that I talk to when I can, and I'm like, I get excited. And we talked about this many fucking times where I'm not an influencer. I'm not a person that's trying to get you to do something. I just like sharing my experiences. Like, I'm just fucking excited to share something with you. And if I could put you onto something, if I could school you into something, if I could fucking share something that I have that's awesome with you, I'm going to fucking do it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm about. Because I knew what that was before. I had these conversations with my brother, you know what I mean? And motivating him to get him in the right path. And he's the person that's been so awesome to see his fucking growth in life. And he has trials and tribulations that were set forth in front of him.
Chris is like, your brother, he's like legit a beautiful person.
He is, you know what I mean? And I think he's starting to see some of the stuff that we see now, which, again, you could tell somebody you see something 1,000 times and they're not going to be able to see it until they see it.
There's probably like, I would say maybe like 2 or 3 people in my life that are like that, one including your brother, that you're just like, man, you're so amazing. Like, why don't you see that when you look in the mirror? But that's fucking inner work, and that's fucking hard. And so anyone who is just fucking working on themselves or showing up for themselves every day, like, I appreciate that so hard, because like, it's not easy. Like, you wake up and you feel like hurt and you're struggling or whatever. It's hard. So you really do have to have that, I don't know, that fire, like, in your soul. To,
that
like,
fire, and I keep saying the fucking hunger, which, you know, parlays into fucking breaking the cycle. We always see stuff, people talk about breaking the cycle, and that's something you should always do, whether that's, you know, on the financial side, educational side, family side, relationship side, like.
But then no one also talks about that. Also, being the cycle breaker is a very hard and dark place to be in as well, because
I feel
you're
like
looked at by whomever it may be, family, friends, whatever, like, who the fuck are you? What do you think you're better? What are you doing? You're acting like this, you know, whatever
I'm so glad
the narrative might be.
I'm so glad you said that, because that's what I feel like now.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah, I feel like that now.
In your heart, it's hard. It's hurtful. It's a hard place to be in, because I don't know. I get it. Like, I very much want.
It could be part of my attitude, because I also have a I don't give a fuck attitude. So you can say what you want to say about me, and I don't give a fuck. There might be some things you might see.
I don't know about that.
I'm saying, like, let me finish
my
thought. Like,
I don't think so.
Let me finish what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I do feel like there's certain things that can be said that may affect me or make me feel some type of way. But in the same token, when it comes to that situation in general, of like, if somebody in my family or someone that I fuck with thinks, oh, he's to this, he's to that, he's acting like this, acting like that, because I'm breaking the cycle, then I just don't give a fuck what you think about, because I'm just going to keep doing me. You know, I can walk into a room, and I have walked in a room with family members where I know for a fact they're looking at me like there's shit that I've been called that I'm not going to just share on this podcast, because I don't feel like it's just, as much as we joke and kid and say shit explicit, it's just, again, we talk about certain things that just are not cool to fucking say. But like, you go into that situation, I think
when push comes to shove, and like something like XYZ whatever does happen, or something is said about you, then yeah, you'll just be like, I don't give a fuck. But I think in general, as a person, I know you well enough to feel like I know you do care.
If it's someone that I care about.
Not enough to be like, oh,
that's what I want to say.
Woe is me. Like, not like that, but like, it's like, man, like, it hurts you, because you're like, why would you feel like that?
If I care about them.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you were to say how you're feeling about me, or if my brother wants to do that to me, which he hasn't, but let's say my brother, I would be like, man, I love this person. Like, why do you want to fucking...
I don't think so, though. But, like, I feel like even if you don't care for a person, or even if you don't like them, or, you know, let's say you even could say, like, you hate them, like, even if you have that feeling towards someone, I feel like you could still say, like, man, like, that really sucks that they feel like that towards me. You know, like, and you could, like, not give a fuck, but you could really, like, in the end, obviously, but you could still say, you know, like, that fucking hurts, bro.
Like, I come from a large family, and I'll say this in closing before we start shutting things down here in a sec, but I'll say this in my time and my trajectory in life of...
You can't shut it down because we haven't talked about resolutions.
And, okay. And the trajectory that I'm, from where I was starting at and when I got into entertainment, when I was DJing and touring, whatever, I literally could count less than the number of people on this hand right here of people who are family, like blood-related family, my mother's my father's side, that might have said, I'm happy for you and I'm proud of you. And you know how big my fucking family is.
Yeah.
To where sometimes you're like, oh shit, another cousin? And that to me is like, when you talk about that, like where I sit back and I'm like, cool, you don't want to fuck around with me, fuck you. I didn't have nobody, not that I'm asking them to fucking suck my dick or be on my back, because I'm not. But at least come say, hey man, I'm proud of you. Hey man, you did it. Hey man, I put 5 and it's probably more like, and maybe more like.
I know, that's, I 100% obviously
it's always funny to see that. But then I have friends, you know what I mean? They're like, that's my dog, you know what I mean? Whether it's whoever it is, you know, that you know who you are. That'll be like, man, that's dope, man. That's fucking shit. You're killing it, man. I see you, kid. They hug you. You can feel that shit. You're like, man, this is a person, right. A friend, versus someone I grew up in the trenches with as little kids with fucking snot on our nose and shit on our chest from food and whatever. And it's like, and they're just like, nah, fuck that. And it's like, why hate? No. A me win is a we win.
I know. No, definitely. Right, for sure. And I see that. And I know, like, that's why you, like, value even more now knowing, you know, because when I met you, I don't feel like you knew the value of, like, a relationship. Not even, like, a romantic one, like a friendship. You know, and I think you've learned that over the years, so you very much value and, like, you know, you look for that. But just knowing you as a person, like, all your family, like, antics, large family antics, whatever it might be, like, it's made you the person that you are today, a part of it, like good and bad, right? But like I know like your heart, and you could say like I don't care, it doesn't whatever, you know, but deep inside, like we all hurt in our own ways. It comes out in different ways. But you're right, like things like that should be said, even like with, you know, our youngest and oldest, you know, I always make sure to let them know that like I'm proud of them. Like I had a talk with Martin just yesterday, was it? And I wanted to make sure he knew like how proud I was of him, and it was really hard for me to like utter the words because like it comes from such this whole year, you know, and it was, but I wanted him to know like how proud, because I don't want him to ever get older and have feelings like that. Mm-hmm. Like I never knew how proud my parents were of me. Like it has to be said, like you could feel it. I'm sure they felt it. I'm sure like, you know, your mom felt it and your dad at some point, whatever, but like, you know, sometimes it really does have to like come out of your mouth, and someone has to hear, it has to hear those words. Mm-hmm. It can't just be assumed. Like you just can't. You can't assume, oh yeah, they felt like this my entire life, and then you just like don't know, you've never heard it. It's special.
Or like, what do you mean? I was just proud of you, but you never said it. But I was.
Right.
You don't know it. You want to validate it.
Yeah.
That's who you want that validation from, so.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
But yeah. So, but yeah, the other podcast that you're always like, that's your favorite, and now you're always telling me to like listen to, is the Two Bears, One Cave.
Yeah, Bert Kreisler, Tom Segura.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers be having me rolling.
Which
you guys
similar,
gotta check them out.
Yeah, you have to check them out. So fucking dead. I'm just like dead all the time watching them. But the one thing that was kind of similar to what we were talking to, he was talking about like watches and cars, and some people being like, you know, oh, don't talk about that, you know, because you're making me feel bad.
Making me feel like shit because you're talking about your cars
right.
and your watches.
And like, you know, with everything that we're talking about, it's like you are responsible for your own feelings. You really are. You're responsible for your feelings, for your life. So wherever you want that to go, whether it's to get all the expensive watches, expensive cars, or, you know, a million other things, resolutions, goals that you could have for yourself, that's like up to you.
Tom Segura said because he was getting DMs and he responded to one of them and was like, don't put that shit on me. That's not my fault that you're still working a 9 to 5 like that. He's like, what do you think I could?
It's not my fault these losers are making these comments. He's like, it's not, it really is like, you know, you're not going to watch the news and be like, don't talk about, you know, Kim Kardashian because it makes me feel bad. No, it's just there, and it's up to you to like not feel bad.
Yeah.
You know, so in that note, also, you know, speaking of cars and all the things, what are your resolutions for New Year's?
And it's always funny because I know you, every year we joke because you always ask me like, oh, I don't really. And you're like, well, come on, da 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 da. And, you know, and for me, talking about it, like, you know, joking earlier, doing my resolution count.
About the alkies and the alcohols. What you said?
To me, you know, 2022 was a very interesting year. A lot of things took place in our home life. A lot of things took place for me in my work life, and a lot of things took place for me in my DJ life. And what I took away from it was obviously, I'm always a big experience person, as I always say, and being able to travel a lot, and see a lot. And for me in the new year, I just want to continue to like continue to make experiences with you. You know what I mean? Like, even like when I put together a flashback reel, or even when I put together that other one that I put together of show me a picture, show me a view. Like, just going back to my camera roll all the way to January and just looking at some of the places we did or some of the things we did, and some of the experiences were just like fucking lit. Like, they were just whether it was whether it was traveling or leaving local. I mean, like from a local standpoint, I think of like hanging out with fucking reindeer, bobcats, and hyenas, and then on an international standpoint, like being in fucking Costa Rica or being in Seattle. You know, like going to Florida, like so.
And I feel like we'll always have that together because that's something we both want always. Is to have these experiences. But anything else, like solely for yourself, like nothing to do with me, the kids, just as Eli, yourself. That's what I feel. I just, again, for me solely, like, I come from a very not so very family oriented situation, so I hold those situations near to my heart. Same.
And I want to always tell myself to make sure that the year coming in that I keep doing it, because you can revert back and just be like, nah, fuck it, we're gonna set this one out, like. And that's for me. I'm not the big, I'm gonna go fucking start working out 5 days a week. I don't need a resolution for me to do that. I'm gonna do that when I talk to you and I say, hey, I need to better myself. I don't need a fucking calendar year flip for me to do that. So I never look at it in that hindsight. I was like, oh, health, wealthiness, and that. No. That should be that should be an everyday goal, not a fucking New Year's goal. But for me, it's like going into a new year, not knowing what to expect just yet. Don't know what my calendar has lined up for us, but being there to say, hey, an experience where I want this. But in the same token, like knowing that another year's coming, and I want another year of more grinding, so that I can continue to set my family up for success. But I also want to continue to, like we talked about, one of the big ones was saving extra cash. You know, I don't want to work when I'm 60.
That's a big resolution, I think, for us as a couple, just continuing that. I think always, obviously, just because of how I am and what I do, what my passions are, is of course I want you to get your health together. Not that it's bad, but I don't ever want it to get to a point where it does get bad. And you have to choose. You don't have the choice.
Yeah, but I didn't mention that, like I said, because that's not a resolution for me.
I know it's not. And
like I could do that today. I could start that last week. You know, I could start.
I know, but you didn't.
You know, I just don't.
But you didn't.
Again, you and I have two different very opinions on resolutions, as we were laughing and joking about. Like, to me, it's just how someone personal takes it. I just don't need, again, like January. Like I'd say, everybody says go to the gym January 1st. Why'd you need January 1st to do it? Why don't you just start it December 20th? Why don't you start?
No, I don't think it's that. And I wouldn't ever even want you to say like, hey, it's January 1st. I'm going to the gym, just like all the other people that have those resolutions. It's more of the words of saying like, you know, this year I'm going to take care of myself. You know, and that does not mean hitting the gym 5 days a week to me. That does not. It's not what I want for you, because I know that isn't something you really at this point want for yourself. For me, it's more just like taking care of yourself, whatever that would mean to you, taking care of your health, your interior. Because here's the thing, like I think our resolutions could really be like flip flops. So like for you are very career focused, right? You're always like you said, you're always grinding, you're always hungry, you're always all those things. For me on the career side, it's not like that, I guess. And we've talked about this like at our little chats and breakfast and stuff like that. You know, I help run a family business, so that's what I do right now. I'm very happy. I'm happy with the money. I'm happy with the flexibility, with the time that it gives me to my family, like all those things, you know. So my grind when it comes to that isn't very hard. It's just not. And I do think, like you have told me before, like that's not all you're capable of, and you're absolutely right. And so that for me, that's something I would like to think about and how I want to proceed with that resolution. On your end, it's the opposite, like, you know, because I focus so hard on myself and my health, and that's physical health, that's mental health. Honestly, overall, like, I would say like 75% of it is I'm so focused on it for mental health. With you, you're so focused on career and not with health. Not physical, not mental, not any of that. And I think that's where, you know, we both are opposites in, but then it's also a place where like you should go to that place where you are nervous about. And for me, that's career. I am nervous about it. It does scare me because it's a big thing, because it, you know, there's so many options out there, you know, it's just it's huge, and there's many aspects to that too, especially with family business and such. But on your end, I feel like that could be like your resolution, and we could help each other not be scared about it, you know, because I could say every day like, yeah, I'm gonna work on my career. You're gonna be like, no, you're not. And you could say like, yeah, I'm gonna get upstairs and go to our gym, and I'm gonna be like, no, the fuck you're not.
Yeah.
And you know that's true, right?
Yep.
And that's true on my end as well. But I saw a reel today as I was leaving the gym. I stretch and I usually watch the reels and stuff. And it was just a guy saying like, doing one of the motivational speeches. And he was like, you know what you want to do. Like if someone put a gun to your head and it's like, you have to fucking tell me what you want to do with your life career-wise, what would you say? It's that easy. So like if someone put a gun to your head and said, what do you want to do? What would it be? Music. Someone was like, tell me right fucking now, or a bullet is going in your fucking head.
And what I want to do music-wise?
Just what you want to do with your career. Like if money wasn't an issue, like you're like, you could just do whatever you want as far as a career, what would it be?
That's a good question, because I always have a lot of different shit that I like.
You have to decide. There's a fucking gun to your head. What would you decide?
And it definitely has to do something that involved like some form of media.
Like what? I'm not sure.
Media could be some form of like, whether it's like we're doing now, whether it's podcasting, TV, being part of media, film. Like that's always been, and I did go to school for some time for that, you know, to the art business, but I've always been infatuated with media, whether it's behind the scenes or being in it. Like that would be my bread and butter.
Yeah. So, and I feel like that's something you're working towards, and you're always working towards that. And on my end, when I heard that, I was like, okay.
Like media marketing too, like that's another part of it where it's like I see marketing people do stuff. I've been very privy to certain conversations with marketing people where it's like, man, it's just an interesting facet of the business when you're getting into the marketing of people, marketing of products, marketing of experiences. So like, which kind of media kind of come hand in hand. Media and marketing.
And on my end, like when I heard that, and I was like, just off the cuff, like, okay, someone has a gun to your head, you have to decide, tell them exactly what you want to do. I want to be in fitness and I want to help people. Period. That's all I've ever wanted to do. It's just like fucking help people. I want to help them feel good. I want to help them know themselves. I don't know. I like digging deep, and I want to help people. And so this year my goal is to expand on that. I don't know what that means, but I do want to dig deeper and figure out what that means for me. So it is a goal, and like I said,
I think you can accomplish it.
Right, and I think with your help I can too, and with my help I think you could accomplish, your help, because if I want to help, I clearly want to help you because you're my husband.
Yep.
So, for the longevity of your health, I want you to be there, and healthy, and for the longevity of our family and being able to provide and just feeling good about ourselves and our career, I know that's something you could help me with as well. So
I definitely cheers to that.
Cheers.
Everyone, before we clink this, I want to just do a double clink. We want to wish everyone out there a very, very, very happy fucking New Year.
Cheers.
We appreciate you guys.
Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for hearing us and listening to us, and we love you guys.
Definitely. We got some more episodes coming next year, so appreciate it.
Sure do.
Enjoy this one. Enjoy your time with the fam today.
Be safe.
Be safe.
Cheers, bitches.